Ofo had always been a Hebrew instrument of authority. Every Israelite family had Ofo. You will get the full picture very well if you can look for money, find an Igbo family that can accommodate you for 3 months, then you stay for an extended period among the Igbos, then you will come back to wherever you live with understanding of the Bible that you cannot gain studying for 10 PhDs in Bible studies. Every family in Israel had an offer. And what I'm going to discuss hereafter came up today during our Shabbat service, how a special offer was consecrated in Israel, built around the position of the high priest. What is offer, by the way? Offer is a piece of stick from a particular tree called the offer tree. In my own Elon Aldoji household, there was an offer tree. And the offer tree was there because we happened to be the Obi of Egbema, Ozobo. Our family compound was the only compound which you find or found an offer in front of it. Because as the Obi of Egbema, the offer of Egbema was in the possession of that Elon Aldoji family. So, as the Bible tells us, every family in Israel had an offer. The person who usually manages this offer or managed this offer in ancient Israel was the oldest person. When Jacob died, the offer of Israel was supposed to devolve on Reuben, and I'm sure it devolved on Reuben because that's not transferable. The oldest person must take possession of that offer when the father died. But meanwhile, everybody in Israel would have every family in Israel would have an offer. Remember, Israel was built, the structure of Israel was Omunna. The structure of Israel was Omunna. Go back to the Bible, look at the Bible again, and you see it very clearly. By the way, in Nigeria, uniquely, the culture, the society of the Igbos was built on Omunna, children of the father. And interestingly, this was what the Bible called the family in biblical Israel. It said, children of the father. So, Reuben will have the offer of Israel. Reuben would have the offer of Israel as the oldest of the children of Israel. And this position also gives him the position of the priest. The oldest person becomes the priest in Israel. So Aaron was the holder of the offer and the priest. Well, life happens. Reuben did not show the qualities expected of the first son. He should have imposed on his brothers that Joseph would not be sold. Yeah, he would have used the position of Diobara to say Joseph will not be sold. But he tried to manage it. He tried to manage the situation by saying, oh no, keep him there, believing that when the brothers look away, he will restore the lad to his father. But he was not able to do that. He probably went to answer the call of nature, and his brothers sold their brother. This was a serious failing He had begun to lose control. Then he slept with one of the wives of the father. And the father said, I can't leave this family in your care. But remember, you can't take that position away from him because he came first. That was why Jacob also was not happy that was why Joseph was not happy when Jacob blessed Ephraim before Manasseh. Because the first is entitled, it is right to take that position. But God said, well, let it be. So, the Reubenites held that position in Israel because they were the first. But then Moses rose, and Aaron and Miriam rose with him, and I think they came from the third family. Levi was the third, not the first, not the second. So there was bound to be problem. Moses was selected because God looked at the lad, saw that the lad was very goodly, very, and God selected him to lead his people. And if this was not enough, God selected the brother too to be his personal assistant. As if this was not enough, God still went to that family and selected their sister to lead the women and the men too. So this was bringing tension in Israel. And meanwhile, what we call Ilodunona, an extended family member of Moses, Korat, was not so happy that all the leaders were selected from only one branch of the family. Korah was from Levi too. And interestingly, he was rich. He had money. I don't know if he was older than Moses, but he did not see why God would go to only one branch of the family, select the leader, select the person functioning as priest, and select the woman leader. So he organized people from Reuben and said that position that Moses is occupying is supposed to be your own. Naturally, they would listen. So they listened, and where they got it wrong was that Korah was supposed to call his brother Moses, Aaron, Miriam, and complain privately about why everything revolved around them. I totally understand why he would feel bad because he stated some truth. He said everybody here is a prophet. Everybody listens to God. And they were all Israelites. Everybody was entitled to be a prophet. But remember, if there are 1,000 prophets, there must be somebody to lead them. And God had said Moses would lead. The sad thing was that they staged this protest in such a way to humiliate the man of God, to make it seem as if he was power hungry. He was offended and he said, God intervene. Chukwu intervene. Chineke were aka nye onwe gị afa. Ọwụ na na-eme ife a ka m wee benefit here. These are sure some signs, but if I'm not doing it to benefit, instill discipline into this community. God told him what to do. The next day, Moses told Israel to separate themselves from these wicked men. He used the word wicked. And Moses said, if they die natural deaths, then I'm not a prophet of God. When the people separated from them, an earthquake came up and took them down. Then God instructed Moses, let every family in Israel bring out their offering, including your family. Aaron was the oldest son of Amram, the father of Moses. So he was in possession of the offering of the Amram family. Every family in Israel brought out their offering, and they left it in an open space. And you know what happened in the morning? The offering in possession of Aaron sprouted flowers. A very good translation of the Hebrew Bible will tell you staff of Aaron, stick, or whatever, but it sprouted flowers. That was a sign that God has chosen who will be his priest. And Aaron became the first high priest of Israel. And it was not supposed to leave his family unless they did not lead well. Well, we know that every now and then that position left them, because I need to get back into the Bible again to figure out the connection between the family of Eli the priest, and Aaron. But I know that Samuel was a Levite. He did not belong to that particular family that will produce the Kohanim. But he became high priest. Because remember, the Levites, the high priests were supposed to be taken from inside the Levites. I reiterate what I say again. Abraham Van Ripper, by every right, if he says he's an Igbo, we can't argue. He's Ashkenazi Jewish. He said that there will be a time when Jewish scholars and Jewish rabbis will go to Igbo land and study the place as an archive to know about the culture of their own ancestors. And then the Igbos, mocked for so long, their culture ridiculed, their Israelite identity denied, will have the strength, they will use the validation to respect that culture that everybody laughed at. They will then realize that that culture came from Chukwu.